Hello YouTube and welcome to the nation of free to play. I'm Mr. Mondstadt and today I want to talk about Stygian Onslaught and what this means for F2Ps. I already made a video on how it works and what the rewards are, so check it out if you haven't already. In today's video though, I want to share my, to be honest, pretty frustrating experience when playing Stygian Onslaught and why I think this new endgame mode is predatory, but from the start. Initially, I planned on uploading a how to clear video where I share my tips and tricks to clear the level 5 difficulty fearless. The reason why this video is what it is now is simple. I hardly could clear level 5 myself. And by that I mean that yes, I did manage to get it in the end, but after 2 whole days of spam resetting, coming up with cursed builds and team comps and finally getting lucky enough so that my rotation was enough. In other words, I cannot repeat it and record it, so I don't see myself in a position to make a guide on this. But I think it is already as hard as floor 12 of Spiral Abyss. For level 5, I could defeat the Hydrotoper and the Overseer device in time after some attempts, but the Lava Dragon statue became my personal enemy. I have tried Arlecchino, I have tried Raiden, Mavuika, Kazuha, Nahida, Gaming, yeah, even Neuvillette for when the dragon is stunned and you actually can apply Hydro or Cryo, but I do not want to complain about me not being able to clear level 5 for the entirety of this video. Long story short, level 5 is only clearable for some F2P accounts. I wouldn't care about the Fearless stage so much if the Dust of Enlightenment was not locked behind this one. Sure, you can still get the one for level 4 if you are able to clear that, and if not, at least the one from spending 1200 resin within 10 days in this domain. But still, since this reroll item is so rare, not getting one is annoying. However, it is not all bad. One good thing about the new mode is the fact that basically everybody is able to get all 450 primos. Even if your account is not strong enough yet, you can clear it in co-op with more experienced players. The fact that you can use Stygian Onslaught as a new way of farming artifacts is also a positive, because it is more resin efficient than doing the domain. I will definitely make use of that and keep clearing the stages on hard mode. When it comes to the higher difficulties though, I do think this mode has room for improvement. And as a disclaimer, I'm not saying to make it easier per se, because endgame mode is supposed to be hard, but not in that way. The first issue I have is that it is too restrictive. If you do not have the characters that Hoyo had in mind, aka the recent 5-star DPSs or supports, you will have a very hard time or even fail to clear it. I could defeat the 3 bosses in the end, but that was also because of the units I have on my account. I did use Mavuika, Auron, Chevreuse and Fischl for the Tulpa, and Skirk for Rena, Escoffier and Ayaka for the Secret Source Automaton. I do not have anyone's signature weapon or 5-star cons, and stage 5 was just about clearable for me, but I do consider myself experienced enough to know my rotations, and while I'm sure there are better players out there, I don't think that was the problem. The problem for me was that I do not have Kinich, Emily or Veressa on my account, and these 3 are probably your best option for the Lava Dragon statue. If you don't have any of them, you can try Monopyro with Arlecchino or Overload or Burning with Nahida. I did all of that, and in the end using Bennett, Kazuha and Nahida on the hero set with TTDS did the trick. My Arlecchino is C0 and on a non-battle pass option, White Tassel. If I had the Primordial Jadewing Spear, maybe I could have cleared it faster, but to be honest, I kinda doubt it. With the signature though, it probably would have been way easier. Anyway, the Hydrotoper has a big DPS check and the Overseer device needs a lot of cryo, so you can't really get too creative with any of the bosses. These restrictions are even worse than in Abyss, because you do not get any blessings or buffs and you need 3 different teams, not only 2. Also, the fact that you fight only bosses makes AoE characters significantly worse and sells the recent damage dealers even more. My second issue is that this endgame mode ends the full F2P experience in Genshin. What I mean is that until Stygian Onslaught, one could clear any game content without having to spend a dime. This has now changed. If not stage 5, dire difficulty will end your run for sure. For the hardest mode, you not only need the right 5 stars, but you also need constellations and or 5-star weapons to have a realistic chance in clearing level 6. To be fair, I personally do not care about the weapon skins as rewards at all, so at least there's that, but I think a well-invested account should be able to clear any mode if they have very well built units, skill and spam reset for long enough. However, this is not the case. I do understand that stage 6 is a form of whale endgame content, but I'm still not a fan of the way Hoyo pulled this one off. And as a third point, this gap between low spenders and high invested accounts has a predatory effect because there's nothing anymore that you can do in the game to achieve what you want. The only thing left is to spend money. Now you might say, well, you can save up for C2 R1 Mavuika as an F2P as well. And yes, you can, but since the bosses change all the time, that will only solve your problem for one patch. In the next version of Stygian Onslaught there will be entirely different bosses with different requirements and mechanics, and I would not be surprised if they would suit Innefer's kit very well. Innefer was just drip marketed and will come in version 5.8. In other words, since you need both vertical and horizontal investment for this mode, you simply cannot clear without spending money, at least not over the long run. Also, as an example, my Mavuika has 210 CV, my Arlecchino 220 and my Skirk 232 on their respective signature sets. While they might not be top 1%, I think they have a decent investment for someone who never tops up resin. Still, I already was stopped at level 5, so there you see the gap. Now, these are my issues, but what does it mean for F2P players? How to deal with Stygian Onslaught? I think the best way is to simply get your primos and consider everything else a bonus. I will continuously try to clear stage 4 and 5, who knows, maybe it will work from time to time. But I will not freak out about it and lose my sanity spam resetting for Dust of Enlightenment. The reroll items will increase the gap further of course, but as long as you can only get 3 per patch from this game mode, it shall not leave too big of an impact. Also, I will not change my F2P strategy either. I could go for a constellation or weapon, but that is not my approach. I want to get the characters alike and make them as good as I can with 4-star options. This way, I will at least have a better chance at having the required limited 5-star because of my horizontal investment. Also, I recommend all of you to not change your strategy because of this game mode either. It is 450 primos for free, not even 3 pulls, and the reroll items. So if you were going for vertical investment so far and are happy with that, keep doing that. And if you've been collecting 5 stars at C0 and enjoy your account, don't change anything. I hope Hoyo will reconsider some decisions they made on Stygian Onslaught. Maybe make only 1 or 2 of the enemies restrictive and give us at least one universal boss. Something like the PMA, a Rune Drake, or even a new boss that does not require one element or character. Or let us reuse 2 characters among the 12 for stage 4 and 5 as well. I still do have hopes for this new endgame content to be fun in the future, even for free-to-play players. Imaginarium Theater was also pretty bad when it was first released, but by now it kinda grew on me, especially the last one with the Rhymegrass reaction. Maybe add some buff cards to Stygian Onslaught as well. Those who don't want to use them don't have to use them and get, let's say, 3 stars, and if you use 1 or 2 cards you only get 2 or 1 star. This way the gap between F2P and Whale would still be big enough, but low spenders would have a better experience, especially if they do not have the character. These are my initial thoughts and suggestions on Stygian Onslaught. Bit more of a yapping video this week, but I just had to get these things off my chest. What are your thoughts on the new endgame mode? Could you clear stage 5 or even 6? And what would you like to change in the future? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like or subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!